6:48, your top headlines here for Thursday as we're still trying to get some more updates on this fire that injured 3 people, including a firefighter, at a house on Child Street yesterday.
This last update we received from RFD, it was around 5 yesterday afternoon when the fire chief told News 8 the firefighter had to be taken to the hospital to be treated for minor injuries. 2 other people taken to the hospital, 1 victim suffering burns to their hand. Our crew was able to tell us they witnessed the medical examiner arriving around 6.
The fire came in within 3 minutes. Crews were on scene, had heavy fire involvement on the front of the building. It's a 1.5-story wood frame structure.
And the scene had many neighbors and bystanders shocked, wanting to help. Desaya White says that he was walking to his friend's house when he saw the smoke coming out of the home, and he tried to rush to help in any way he could, but as that fire quickly grew more intense, he knew it was best to stand back and leave it to the professionals.
I seen a lady, she had a baby in her hand. She telling us her grandma inside and to help and stuff. I was across the street and it felt like it was just right next to me, so.
Yeah, really scary there. The cause of that fire still under investigation.
To this new upgraded charge of 2nd-degree murder for the young man from Brockport arrested and for a wrong-way crash that killed a dirt bike rider earlier this year. 19-year-old Noah McGee, after that indictment and arraignment, pleaded not guilty in Orleans County Court yesterday morning. And troopers say in February, McGee was driving a truck going the wrong way down a road and hit the dirt bike rider head-on. That killed 24-year-old Roger Kingdollar. Police say McGee left that scene pretty quickly, but later came back without the truck, and that is when he's arrested. The bail was set at that point at $2,500. In court yesterday, the DA asked the judge to raise the amount now that he feels the circumstances are much different compared to the time of the original arrest and the new murder charge. The judge decided to keep the bail at $2,500, and that brought an emotional reaction we heard from the victim's family, and here's the DA.
At that time, the case had not been thoroughly investigated. Obviously, we were just confronted with a new situation, but since that time, developed a tremendous amount more of information that has resulted in the murder charges.
Looking ahead, the trial is scheduled at this point to begin in November. We are learning more about a convicted felon arrested this week in connection to a robbery spree throughout Gates. 39-year-old Julian Gracia faces several new felony charges after police say he tied up a motel clerk during a robbery Monday and choked her.
The victim wasn't injured at this incident at the motel, and in fact, as we were wrapping up there, the victim did reach out to one of my officers that was on scene and gave her a hug and thanked her for, coming and saving and helping out.
Court documents reveal the victim was actually tied up with a vacuum power cord. Gracie is accused of tricking the clerk into opening the door to the motel before charging at her, putting her in a chokehold, and threatening to shoot her. He's also accused of threatening to shoot officers that responded to the scene and not following their orders. Police say he was also involved in 2 other crimes just before the motel robbery Monday morning. And due to prior felony convictions, including for sex crimes, Gracie was sent to jail without bail.
Happening today, a torch run will pass through Genesee County, honoring a fallen sheriff's sergeant. It also benefits the Special Olympics scheduled to take place this summer. Every year, the torch makes its way around New York, and today, members of law enforcement and Special Olympics athletes are going to be running in part to remember Sergeant Thomas Sanfratello. You'll remember our coverage here when he died trying to take suspects into custody at Batavia Downs Casino in March. The torch run starts at the Genesee County Sheriff's Office in Batavia. That starts at 10 a.m.
Later this afternoon, there is the annual blood drive in memory of the Fairport teens killed in a crash 17 years ago after graduation. It's the annual Fairport Angels blood drive honoring Hannah Congdon, Bailey Goodman, Meredith McClure, Sarah Monnett, and Katie Shirley. Their families say giving blood to those in need is a positive way to remember their 5 angels. That drive is at St. John of Rochester's Gym in Fairport from 1 till 7.
The U.S. House of Representatives has passed a resolution calling for the immediate release of Ryan Corbett. He is this Dansville man who's been held captive by the Taliban in Afghanistan for a couple years now. Corbett lived in the country for more than a decade and went back in 2022 trying to handle some business that he had there, and he's been held ever since. This resolution condemns the Taliban's holding of Corbett, urging high-ranking officials, including the president, to continue pressing the Taliban and release every American held unjustly.
Sunrise traffic updates here at 6:52. Just reported within the last 2 minutes, a crash in Henrietta at West Jefferson Road and East Henrietta Road. We've got our eye on that. Elsewhere, coming in from the west side, 490, things picking up but clear from the Chi-Li Gates area. East side coming up from Victor on 490 westbound, also green as well.
Well, it is that time of year where our local students are getting ready to finish school. That means those seniors that are graduating and making some big decisions about their paths in the future.
No pressure. Instead of going right to college, some grads are going right to jobs, well-paying ones straight away. Aran Spitzer here in studio with more from these kids who are making that decision. Aran.
Yes, the students we heard from are part of the Eastern Monroe Career Center program, part of Monroe 1 BOCES in Fairport, which serves students from Monroe County. The students spend part of their day at their schools learning core subjects like history and math. The other half of their day is spent in the program learning trade skills in fields like welding, nails and waxing, security systems, among others. Students can get their certification in their chosen field before graduating, which can lead to full-time job offers, and in some cases, employers will pay for a student to continue their education or training. The students say they're grateful for the hands-on experience.
I am very happy that a program like this exists where I could just come here and I don't have to go to get more schooling to be qualified.
These are not skills that you could just, sit in Penfield and learn. You have to really be watching and learning, and it's really about figuring what really works for you with hair.
A computer program was a big draw to me because computers have really been interesting to me my entire life, and I wasn't sure exactly where I wanted to go in my future, and learning more about computers is a valuable skill, and I feel like it could help me anywhere, and it's where I want to go in the future.
Some of these students plan to continue their education while pursuing their careers, while some plan on using their certifications immediately. You can find more information about the program at this story on our website, rochesterfirst.com. Guys, back to you.
Well done. Congrats to them. Thank you, Aran. You know, the best pitcher for the Yankees, Garrett Cole, will be here in Rochester tomorrow. Last night, we counted about 600 tickets were left at that point for the Red Wings home game against Scranton. Now, I checked, and your best option is really standing room only. Cole injured his elbow in spring training, hasn't played in the majors this year. He's made a couple of starts for the Yankees in Double-A, and last night the manager, Aaron Boone, said the next one will be in Triple-A, and that is here tomorrow. He threw 45 pitches in his first rehab start, 57 the second night out, and tomorrow maybe you'll see him throw about 70 pitches, and that's the biggest rehab assignment here, going back to Andy Pettit when he pitched against the Wings in 2012. If you were wondering that night, Rochester, 13,584 of you showed up, a record, and we'll see if we will break that coming up again tomorrow night.
Hey, standing room only.
Yeah.
They're going to get snapped up quick. I'm predicting it.
Yeah, it just went just like that as soon as the news came out.
Yeah.
We're going to be in the mid-80s today. It won't be like that tomorrow at the ballpark.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's going to be cooler, actually, tomorrow night. It's a long sleeve, maybe even hoodie for you. But who do you root for?
I don't know.
Right?
I mean, you got to go the home team. I mean, you don't want to betray them.
Unless everyone's out there in their Yankees hats.
There's going to be a lot of Yankees gear out there, which will be interesting. So today is hot, mid-80s. A couple of spots get into the upper 80s there. And then showers and thunderstorms overnight. If you watch us tomorrow morning, we'll probably have storms to track. And then another round in the afternoon, and a nice cool weekend for you, at least for Saturday. And then here we go, continually in the headlines as we'll run at 90s. I mentioned it earlier, it's been 3 years since we've gotten there.
Yep, overdue.
4 days in a row? My goodness.
Potentially 5.
Coming up.
No.
That does it for us. We'll see you back here at 7:25.
Have a great morning, everybody.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.